it's unique enough and it's different that I honestly wasn't sure whether I would like it or not. And I wasn't convinced until I took it home, and I have an 11-year-old boy and a 13-year-old boy, and I played it with the 2 boys and my wife. And until I had a chance to play it with my family and see how they reacted to it, I was undecided. And they loved it. So that's what convinced me that this could really work. We call CanCan a visual pattern matching game. And the game that it makes me think of most closely is Quirkle. And they're working with shapes and colors, and you're trying to visually see how sets of things go together. But the actual gameplay itself, the types of things you're doing on each turn are different. Yeah, I feel like it's definitely different and unique. There are a ton of strategy games, and if you look at word games, there are a lot of crossword, word-style games. And there aren't a lot of games that work on visuals and kind of patterns and putting patterns together. So there are a few games that are popular. Set is popular, but that has a speed element. And in CanCan, there's not a speed. You're not rushing to make your play. You can take your time, and you can let things develop, and you can see how patterns form. CanCan is especially suited for a couple of audiences. I think women in particular would like this game, and I feel that this is one of the games that is really neutral when it comes to ages. You could have a 7-year-old enjoy it, you could have a 70-year-old enjoy it. And so I feel that this could work for multiple generations together. I actually enjoyed the game, and I like hardcore strategy games. So I think it's not specifically limited to just women. I think it's not specifically limited to just kids. But I think that it's a game that can appeal to those people. A lot of games are focused around conflict and trying to come out on top in that conflict. And so maybe and CanCan doesn't really create conflict in that way. It's more something that is you are creating something, you're letting it grow, you're seeing how it can develop. There is still enough of a goal and enough of a structure that appeals to somebody like me, where I like the games with conflict, and I like to try to see if I can come up with clever solutions to a problem. And then just looking at my wife, she doesn't like games with a lot of conflict on them. It's just not what she wants to do. Yeah, if we can have this in production, I think it would have a real solid place in our store. I think there are a lot of people that we have mainstream games coming into our stores. Families, families. We get a lot of parents coming in, we get a lot of grandparents coming in, plenty of moms.
CanCan is a great open-ended fun game where you work on colors and patterns and just making pretty art while you're either playing alone or you can play with somebody else and have a conversation. More about the old-fashioned, the social game. It has everything that the store thrives on. It is local, it is beautiful, and it is fantastic.
Oh my gosh.
Basically,
1 page of rules, that's the dream, that's the goal. Always 1 page of rules. My favorite kind of game is a game where I'm trying my hardest and yet kids can still win.
hi, my name is Christine. And normally I'm like, oh, games, I have to be competitive and I really work hard at it. I feel this is a good game because it is so different and completely different from any other game. And it is actually a break from many of the things that you feel when you play competitive games. You're using a different part of your brain, and it's a part of the brain that you don't normally use when you're playing a game. And so it just kind of has this calming effect on you. Because each tile you lay, you have a sense of accomplishment and completion. So it's like every move you make feels good. If at the end you didn't win, well, you did win because you feel good.
I won a game. It's a good family game. And I like I love that it brings out the visual. It's completely visual and using
Andrew, look what I did.
a different side of, rather than black and white text or already made picture, you're able to create the picture.
So you can see we kind of use the game as a puzzle.
Yes.
A puzzle of color and shape. And I find that very relaxing, and as I've been taught, a relaxed mind is a learning mind.
I like all the colors, and I like to combine colors like purple and blue or red and black. And I like that the board's so fuzzy. And CanCan is a really fun game because it's not too long, And also it takes a lot of strategy, and then the flip is also a really great part of the game.